Question let about professional education part 37. Question number 1. During a school-wide cleanup activity, teacher Maria notices that when she praises one group of students for picking up trash efficiently, other students who were initially disengaged also start helping enthusiastically. Over the next few days, the students continue to show improved behavior in other school activities. Which concept does this scenario best illustrate? Letter A. Direct instruction. Letter B. Ripple effect. Letter C. Punishment and reinforcement. Letter D. Classroom management. The correct answer is letter B. Ripple effect. It is a classroom management principle where a teacher's action such as praising or correcting one student indirectly influences the behavior of other students who observe it. Even if the teacher addresses only one group or individual, the rest of the class tends to imitate or adjust their behavior because they see the consequences or rewards given to others. In the situation, teacher Maria praises one group of students for cleaning efficiently. Students who were not originally participating begin to help as well, simply because they observed the positive feedback given to others. This improved behavior continues in later activities, showing how one action created a ripple of positive behavior throughout the class. Question number 2. A school decides to give more learning modules to remote barangay students who lack internet access, while city students continue with online classes. This decision is made because the school recognizes the different needs and circumstances of each group of learners and adjusts support accordingly. What is this? Letter A. Equity. Letter B. Equality. Letter C. Bias. Letter D. Standardization. The correct answer is letter A. Equity means providing the different levels of support or resources depending on each student's needs, so everyone has a fair chance to learn. It recognizes that not all students start from the same situation, so support must be adjusted accordingly. In the scenario, the school gives more learning modules to remote barangay students because they have limited or no internet access, while city students continue with online classes. The resources differ based on what each group needs to succeed. This is a clear example of equity. While the option B, equality, means giving the same resources or treatment to everyone regardless of their needs. The option C, bias, refers to an unfair preference or prejudice that favors or harms certain individuals or groups, and an option D, standardization, involves applying uniform rules or procedures to all students to maintain consistency. Question number 3. Teacher Nadine designs her lessons so that by the end, students can identify and explain the causes of the Philippine Revolution. She aligns her activities, discussions, and assessments to ensure this goal is achieved. Which element of lesson planning is being demonstrated? Letter A. Learning materials. Letter B. Classroom management. Letter C. Assessment strategy. Letter D. Lesson objectives. The correct answer is letter D. Lesson objectives is a clear statement of what students should know, understand, or be able to do by the end of a lesson. They guide the teacher in choosing the right activities, discussions, and assessments to ensure learning is focused and measurable. Teacher Nadine plans her lessons so students will identify and explain the causes of the Philippine Revolution. She aligns all her activities and assessments with this target. This shows she is using lesson objectives as the foundation of her planning, ensuring that everything she teaches directly supports the intended learning outcome. Question number 4. After checking the attendance at the start of class, Teacher Len immediately transitions to the next task by having students open their books and begin a warm-up activity. She avoids delays, keeps the lesson moving at a steady pace, and makes sure there are no idle moments between activities, allowing the class to stay focused and continuously engaged. What principle is evident? Letter A. Momentum. Letter B. Group alerting. Letter C. Overlapping. Letter D. Smoothness. The correct answer is letter A. Momentum. It is a classroom management principle where the teacher keeps the lesson moving at a steady, continuous pace, avoiding delays or idle time, so that students remain engaged and the flow of instruction is uninterrupted. In this scenario, Teacher Len quickly transitions from checking attendance to a warm-up activity, making sure there are no gaps or wasted time. By maintaining a smooth and continuous pace throughout the class, she demonstrates momentum, keeping students focused and actively involved in the lesson. Again, the momentum is maintaining a steady, continuous pace in the lesson to prevent idle time and keep students engaged, while the group alerting involves keeping all students attentive and ready to participate, and the overlapping is the teacher's ability to handle multiple tasks simultaneously without disrupting the lesson. And lastly, the smoothness refers to how effortlessly and clearly the lesson flows, focusing on quality transitions rather than continuous pace, speed and continuity of the lesson. Question number 5. Teacher Trisha is discussing the parts of the digestive system. Instead of explaining everything at once, she divides the lesson into 3 segments: mouth and esophagus, stomach, and intestines. After each segment, she asks short questions before moving to the next. What strategy is the teacher applying? Letter A. Scaffolding. Letter B. Spiral progression. Letter C. Chunking. Letter D. Concept mapping. The correct answer is letter C. Chunking. It is an instructional strategy where the teacher breaks down a large or complex lesson into smaller, manageable sections so students can understand each part more easily. After each chunk, teachers often check understanding before moving on. Teacher Trisha divides the digestive system lesson into 3 smaller segments: the mouth and esophagus, stomach, and intestines, instead of teaching everything at once. She also asks short questions after each segment to ensure comprehension before proceeding. This clear division of content into smaller parts is exactly what chunking is. Again, the chunking is a strategy where the teacher breaks a complex lesson into smaller, manageable parts. Meanwhile, concept mapping uses visual diagrams to show relationships between ideas. The scaffolding provides temporary support to help students learn new concepts. The spiral progression revisits topics at increasing levels of difficulty across grade levels. Question number 6. Every time it is time for recess, Teacher Anna rings a small bell before giving students their snacks. After several days, the students begin feeling hungry just by hearing the bell, even before the snacks are given. Who is the psychologist whose theory explains this behavior? Letter A. B.F. Skinner. Letter B. Ivan Pavlov. Letter C. Jean Piaget. Letter D. Albert Bandura. The correct answer is B. Ivan Pavlov. He was a Russian psychologist known for his work on classical conditioning, a learning process in which a natural reflex responds to a previously neutral stimulus after repeated association. In the scenario of Teacher Anna, the snacks are the unconditioned stimulus or UCS, which naturally cause hunger. It is the unconditioned response or UCR. The bell is initially the neutral. It becomes the conditioned stimulus after repeated pairings with the snacks. When the students feel hungry at the sound of the bell, it becomes conditioned response, where it is a learned response that occurs when the conditioned stimulus is presented on its own. In classical conditioning, the unconditioned stimulus or UCS is a stimulus that naturally triggers a response, and the unconditioned response or UCR is the automatic reaction to it. The conditioned stimulus or CS refers to the learned in a previously neutral stimulus that, after repeated pairing with the unconditioned stimulus or UCS, elicits a learned response. And lastly, the conditioned response or CR is a learned reaction to the conditioned stimulus or CS alone. Question number 7. Pamela shows a remarkable talent for singing. She can easily follow melodies and remembers songs after hearing them once. Her teachers encourage her to join school activities, but her family discourages her from performing in public and tells her to focus on academics. Over time, she becomes shy and stops joining contests despite her ability. Which factor hindered her development? Letter A. Genetics. Letter B. Biological maturation. Letter C. Nature. Letter D. Nurture. The correct answer is letter D. Nurture. It refers to environmental influences such as family, culture, experiences, and social interactions that shape a person's behavior, skills, and development. In the situation, Pamela clearly has natural talent which represents nature, but it is the discouragement from her family that causes her to stop performing and eventually become shy. Their negative feedback and lack of support hinder her growth, making this a clear example of nurture affecting her development. The difference of nature and nurture is: nature refers to the inborn, biological, and genetic factors that influence a person's traits, abilities, and behavior. These are things you are born with. While the nurture refers to the environmental influences such as family, culture, education, and experiences that shape a person's development. These are factors you learn from or are exposed to. Question number 8. Teacher Rian, a health teacher, explains the causes of common illnesses such as germs, poor nutrition, and environmental factors. After the discussion, she asks students to describe in their own words how these factors contribute to the development of diseases. Letter A. Understanding. Letter B. Applying. Letter C. Evaluating. Letter D. Creating. The correct answer is letter A. Understanding. It refers to the ability to grasp the meaning of information and explain it in one's own words. It goes beyond memorizing facts because students must show that they comprehend the idea, relationship, or concept being taught. When learners restate information in a clearer or simpler way, they demonstrate that they have internalized the lesson. In the situation, teacher Rian explains the causes of common illnesses, and afterward, she asks students to describe in their own words how these factors contribute to diseases. This task requires students to interpret and explain the concepts, which is the essence of understanding. It is not applying because students are not using the information in real-life situations or demonstrating how to practice healthy habits. It is not evaluating because they are not judging, comparing, or making decisions about the causes of illnesses. Lastly, it is not creating because they are not producing a new product, plan, or original idea, only restating what they learned. Question number 9. Cindy is walking to class when a stray dog suddenly barks loudly behind her, startling her in an instant. At that very moment, she feels fear and her heart begins to race, occurring simultaneously rather than one reaction causing the other. She does not need to interpret the situation for these responses to happen. Both her emotional experience and bodily reaction appear at the same time. Which theory best explains this reaction? Letter A. Cognitive appraisal theory. Letter B. Drive reduction theory. Letter C. Two-factor theory. Letter D. Cannon-Bard theory. The correct answer is letter D. Cannon-Bard theory. It was proposed by Walter Cannon and later expanded by Philip Bard. Walter Cannon first challenged the earlier James Lange theory and introduced the idea that emotions and bodily reactions happen at the same time. While Philip Bard refined and supported Cannon's work that leads to combined of Cannon-Bard theory of emotion. This theory states that emotions and bodily reactions occur simultaneously. When a sudden event happens such as a loud bark, the brain immediately sends signals that produce both the emotional feeling, which is fear, and the physical response is a racing heart at the same time, without requiring any conscious interpretation. In the situation, Cindy feels fear at the exact moment her heart begins to race, which aligns with the Cannon-Bard explanation of instant and parallel emotional and physiological responses. While the two-factor and cognitive appraisal theories requires cognitive processing before an emotion is felt, and the drive reduction theory focuses on biological needs. Question number 10. In a science class, Relly explore why earthquakes happen by understanding concepts, theories, and facts. The focus is on building foundational knowledge that he can use in more complex lessons later on. Which pillar is highlighted? Letter A. Learning to be. Letter B. Learning to live together. Letter C. Learning to do. Letter D. Learning to know. The correct answer is letter D. Learning to know. It emphasizes acquiring knowledge, understanding concepts, and developing intellectual skills that form a foundation for future learning. It focuses on building a strong base of information and critical thinking that students can apply to more advanced topics later on. In the situation, Relly study why earthquakes happen by exploring concepts, theories, and facts. The lesson prioritizes understanding and knowledge acquisition, which aligns with the learning to know pillar. Thank you for watching.